and welcome to Today's Parent. I'm your host, Christine Casina. Today's Parent is about giving you information to make you the best parent that you can be and to connect you with experts. On today's show, we are going to talk about online safety. That is a major concern for a lot of parents. In today's show, we have Evelyn Casina. She's a family IT consultant who's passionate about matters online safety, and she runs her own company, EveMinet Communication Solutions Limited. Evelyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, my namesake.
Good to have you here.
Yes.
Good to have you here. Yeah. So let's take it from the very beginning. What is online safety?
Being able to protect yourself and your image, your information, your identity while you're online. That's it. No complications.
Wow.
Yeah.
And why is it important?
It's important because so many people are mining data right now to do very many different things.
Right.
And when you're not safe online, you're literally exposing yourself. I would like to ask you, do you sleep at night when your doors are open?
No, we don't.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. So why would you just put your information out there for anybody who wants to have it? Yeah. So you have to be protected.
You know, in these times that we live in, we are so connected, digital. In fact, Wi-Fi has become like a basic need.
Yes.
So almost in every household, possibly out of 5 households, we find like 3 have some form of Wi-Fi.
Actually 4.
Wow.
Yeah. And if I can shock you, there's a report that came from UNCTAD last week that says Kenyans are the most careless internet users globally.
Explain.
We just give information willingly. We are not careful. And just because we have that very easy penetration of internet, it's literally on our fingertips.
Right.
We are just always online, just giving information. Yeah. Without our knowledge. Yeah. So we actually have been classified as the most careless internet users.
Wow.
Globally. Not even in Africa.
Globally.
Globally.
You know, a friend of mine was telling me, like, every time you go to a place, think about it when you go to Java, and even when your friends go to Java, the one thing that we always ask, or these other establishments,
Yes.
uko na Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Like Wi-Fi has become so basic.
It's
become such a basic need.
Yeah.
And some people go to the point of, you know, when they're doing their banking online, on public Wi-Fi.
Yes, and
like
secured.
Yes.
Free open Wi-Fi is actually really unsecured. It has so much malware. People don't understand even, like, what is the risk of having a malware when you're installing certain things on your phone and then you start seeing pop-ups.
So that's a malware. Explain what's a malware for.
So it will be one of these adverts that will come either on the sides, on the bottom, that just keep popping, like maybe you've won an iPhone, you know,
yes.
you've won the lottery, you never even gambled, you've never gambled.
Applied.
Exactly. Then when you click, it starts installing background, what can I call it? A background script that will open up now your phone.
Right.
Yeah. So that becomes like a major danger because one, if you have a smartphone, you have your social medias logged in.
Yeah.
Yeah. You only get on and off internet. You don't log off. Your emails are logged in. So what happens when someone just penetrates just one application? I can access everything in your phone, including then your banking.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's go step by step. What are the risks? The risks of being online. What are the risks that are there?
One, it's just the fact that if you overuse the internet, you have the risk of getting addicted.
So number 1, the risk of addiction.
Yes. The risk of also becoming antisocial. And you see, in a day and age where we're also raising children in the internet generation,
right,
we stop parenting them physically, we are parenting them through technology and gadgets. So that is a very, very big risk.
Let's go back to addiction. How can somebody tell they're addicted to the internet?
Wow. Now, if you ever feel like you have a near-death panic attack, one, when you go to a place, you ask for Wi-Fi and people are looking like, we don't have Wi-Fi. You don't have Wi-Fi?
How can you not have Wi-Fi?
Or when your phone is just almost getting off charge and you're feeling like you're panicking because I'm going to miss out on, you know, the updates, the notifications. You feel like I really can't be offline. Like, it's crazy you thinking that you're offline. That's a very big red sign alert that you're addicted.
They call it FOMO.
Yes.
Fear of
missing out. Yes. Number 3, if you're literally walking everywhere and you have your phone, you're in the toilet, you have your phone, you're eating, you have your phone, you're having family gatherings, you're always on your phone.
And you know, it's gotten to a point where you have a family at the dinner table, and everybody is on their gadget.
Yeah. Even the kids, because they're seeing the parents can't keep off their gadgets.
So they just mirror the same.
Yes, monkey see, monkey do.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yes.
So number one, you've talked about addiction. The second one you said, the other.
So when you'll get addicted, then we are living in a generation where we are teaching our children that they cannot be without technology, which is a very big risk, because then they start living a life of non-socialization. Like they don't have physical interaction.
Right.
Yeah. Which is very dangerous, because then we are bringing up zombies. Literally, we're bringing up zombies. And the society will just become something very different. Because if you think about it, already how businesses are really automating, we will have drones circulating, we have robots, we have AI, then we have children who can literally not talk to each other. Then what kind of society are we looking at, even just 5 years from now?
That level of automation will be very serious.
Yeah.
Let's talk about cyberbullying. I know it's one of the major risks of being online.
Yes.
Define cyberbullying and how it looks like.
So what I'll say about bullying, it has always happened, because even we were bullied, it's just that it was offline.
Yeah.
But right now, we have this space where you're being bullied by people who even literally do not know you. One, because of the information you've put out there. Or number two, by a person who feels like, I can't really have the guts to look at you and tell you, oh, Christine, you look bad. So they take photos of you, they Photoshop them, take them online, and then they start bullying you, which gives an opportunity for other people who really don't know you
to then join in the train of bullying you.
Yeah. And case in point, perfect example, KOT.
Kenyans on Twitter. Yeah. Keyboard warriors.
Keyboard warriors. I think I keep telling people that if you want the best description of cyberbullies, KOT. Yeah, we are actually notorious, because we don't, and I think the one thing that I don't appreciate is that people don't want to look at the other side of the story. I give my version, it's the first version that goes out, everybody swings with it. They don't think like, wait, there's something else, there's another story about whatever it is that is happening from the other person. People just don't care. Yeah. So cyberbullying can become so bad, and especially for children who don't know how to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Our children are very vulnerable, they trust easy. It's a space where they feel like, I can talk to people I really don't know. I'm making new friends, but they don't know the risks of making friends with people we share different cultures with. We share different opinions.
Yeah.
Our religion is different. So when we go there and you differ with someone, just because of maybe an ideology or so, it becomes an open field for people to just start bullying you. And then they don't know how then to go back home and start discussing that, someone made me feel bad. Why? Because our parents are always online, or if they're not working, they're just not there. So their comfort is in that online community. And I keep telling kids especially, you're being bullied by people you know, or someone is done who triggered that conversation.
Yeah.
But we don't have that space where we sit with our children and tell them, when something happens to you, this is where you fall back.
Right.
Yeah, the offline setup of where you've created an environment where your children
can have a conversation.
Yeah, we don't really have that. So they will still go back there, and that's when you start seeing people having suicidal thoughts. The mental issues now become very rampant, because the children do not have a safe backing ground.
We are so disconnected.
We are so disconnected.
We're so very disconnected.
Yes.
So the other point I want to raise is about online predators. What's your take on that? When it comes to online safety and the dangers that lie online, when it comes to predators who are out there.
When you think about how people are conned, even offline, which I never understand how people are conned, the art that has taken now over predators online is very subtle. And I think it's just about me telling you subtle things like you look really nice, that I love your confidence and all that. And you see, for children, for you as an adult, maybe you'll have red flags.
Yeah, like
our children don't have.
Yeah. What do they want?
Plus, for us, like the way they say women have a sixth sense, you kind of have that.
Yes.
But for a child who does not hear affirmation at home, they do not see anything. I mean, their environment as it is not conducive enough for them to feel loved. If someone else out there, a third party, is giving them love, they will easily trust that person. And you see, they're on Instagram, they're on Snapchat. I think that's basically their playground, and these other very many apps.
Right.
There's something new called IBF, Internet Best Friend.
Internet
Best Friend.
How can you be my internet best friend? I don't even see we haven't engaged on that level.
Yes. So they start creating IBFs. So I really don't need to see you, because maybe you're even in another geographical location, but we are best friends on the internet.
How will you even know I'm male or female?
It doesn't matter.
Right.
We are friends because I make you feel secure. I make you feel loved. I affirm you. I give you that attention that you're not getting offline. So if I'm a person who has ill intentions, the predator starts checking in at that point. Because it will take maybe a week or so, and we can meet for movies, Right now we give our children, pocket money, they'll do an Uber. They'll go start now meeting these IBFs in person.
IBFs?
Yes, IBF. Now I've taught you something new.
I'm thinking what's the worst that could happen? I have an IBF who then asks me or asks my child to send them a photo. They'll
start sending photos, they'll start sending, they will even be on, video call, because it will start like that. I want to see you, want to see me. And very subtle, they'll start meeting in person. And that's it, because now once they meet in person, what happens? But you see, before even that point of meeting in person gets there, they're sending personal information. And I think we need to start empowering our children enough to know what is private and what is personal. Because there's a difference.
Explain.
Private and personal. Private information would be where I live, where I go to school, how our house looks like. So when I'm taking photos of where we live, it still brings... I'm creating a digital footprint. You can pick up so much. And having, when you're taking photos, having your location on. Because it's showing exactly where you are, doing the live feeds and all, because that is private information. So personal information will be like, I love Christine, we love hanging out, we're going to the movies. But you see, there's a very thin line between how it can cross over. So when our children don't know what information can I give out there that is insecure,
right,
they'll still give it thinking it's personal information, but it's about me, because they don't know how to balance what I can give to someone I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. But you remember that person is making you feel very secure. And we are spending a lot of time. Just imagine a child who's on their phone 6 hours a day. What are they saying? And to who? Yeah. We are not bothered to even check. People will tell me, my child is always on phone. They're always chatting and they're always giggling. I don't know what they're doing. You need to know what they're doing. It's your responsibility to know what they're doing. Yeah. You're the one who's giving them the phone. You're paying for the internet. You're paying for the credit. You need to know what they're doing. Yeah. But I think we are too busy. And we feel like the issues that we are seeing even in the Western countries on the news can't happen to our children. And unfortunately, mental health issues are here with us, with so many of us battling them.
That is true.
Yeah.
And I know just the online space is a big factor that plays into our mental well-being.
Mm-hmm. Because have you ever seen someone who has not posted a good photo on Instagram?
Everybody's perfect on Instagram.
We are all happy.
Everybody's absolutely perfect. Their lives are perfect. They have perfect jobs. They have perfect children.
And because also, even though I'm not perfectly made, I have filters. I want to show that, I do this, I do that, so that the next person sees and they think, oh, she has it all together. But there's nothing like a perfect life in real life. There is nothing like that. But that is the illusion that we are creating, even for our children. Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah. So we're going to take a short break. In studio today, we have Evelyn Kasina, who's sharing on the importance of keeping our kids safe online. We'll be right back after this. Hi, and welcome back to today's Parent. On today's show, we are talking about online safety and how to keep our kids safe online. In studio, we have Evelyn Kasina of EvMinet Solutions. And before we went on the break, we have a question that came through from Betty in Nakuru. And the question from Betty is, when can I buy my child a phone? What's the appropriate age to introduce gadgets to my child? Evelyn, what's your take on that?
My question would be, why does the child want a phone? Because if you can answer why, then you will know what phone is appropriate for them. Because if it is just for the sake of communication, a kabambe will suffice, right? Because the minute you give a child, for instance, a smartphone, and the reason was for communicating, how often are they communicating with you? That's one question.
My question would be also, why do they need to communicate? Like, if they need to communicate with the outside world, for example, cousins, schoolmates, why can't they do it through my phone?
Yes. Because the minute you give your child that responsibility of he is a gadget, and you've not talked to them about the gravitas of that responsibility, then you've already failed before you started. Because what you've done, in essence, is you've opened up this whole world of gaming, because they will experiment. They will go outside the playground and so is playing this game. So they will come and download.
Yes.
They'll go and try that and try that and try that. And especially when games is kind of okay, it depends on what they're playing. But then they get into the point where people have social media accounts and your child is not of age to be on social media, because most of the accounts right now, it's 13. If you have to be 13 to have.
So the minimum you can join any social media platform should be from 13, is 13 onwards.
Yes. So the minute you've given your child who's under that age a phone, they'll be playing, they'll be communicating. you've not talked to them, as we were saying before, about giving personal and private information. So that
Yeah.
will be something that they will do without their knowledge. So the question would be, why are you giving them a phone? Because we have children who have been introduced to so much gaming that we have to start rehabilitating them as early as 11 years old.
Wow. So one of the dangers of being online is addiction.
Yeah.
Addiction to games.
Yeah.
Just having a gaming problem.
Yeah, because the thing about gaming is you want to play this level to get to the next level, to get to the next level, to get to the next level, and there's a high. You start releasing
Every time
dopamine.
you move
Yes.
to the next level.
Yes, there's dopamine that is released. One, you start finding your children are always online. So if they started from 30 minutes, it starts extending to 1 hour to 2 hours. And you'll actually literally find children plugged their chargers on the phone because they cannot
can't
afford.
to be out of charge.
Yes.
So this gaming, when guys are doing gaming online, you are playing with somebody else in another.
That depends. There are multi-level games, there are individual games, and there are multi-super games.
Like you enter a chat room.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
Yes.
Wow. So in your experience, is there a difference between a gaming addiction and an internet, like online addiction? Or
It would not be very different because it will not be different because everybody consumes the internet for different things.
True.
You would find very many women addicted to shopping. We are
Shopping
always
online.
Yeah, we are on e-commerce sites, shopping shoes, shopping this, shopping that. I mean, there are people who are constantly on Amazon, by the way, just adding to cart, adding to cart. As opposed to
Wow.
someone else who wants to buy books, there's someone else who wants to play games. So it depends
that's
on
true.
what
That's
you're
true.
consuming.
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's
So the
true.
addiction would be what you're consuming. Yeah. It would not be a very big difference, but what you're constantly doing is what you will continue consuming for a very long time. Yeah.
That's a lot to take in, especially as
I'm
a
not
parent,
scaring you.
As a parent.
I'm not scaring you, but there's so many things that our children are also doing behind closed doors that we do not really know is happening. And one of the things that I even encourage parents is to start raising their children, especially when you're bringing them into technology, raise them with values. Because if they don't understand your family values, when they're online, they're in a global platform, they are intersharing culture, they're intersharing values, religion, and everything. So if they don't have a foundation.
So when it comes to what forms the bulk of our conversation today, of course, is online safety and how we can keep our kids safe online. Let's start with preteens. Or do we start with kids? Or do we start when we are pregnant?
Toddlers. I mean, by the time, think about a mother who's pregnant, and just before that child steps into the world, they have already a digital footprint of them. They step into the world when the mother is breastfeeding, they have a phone here. So that
Right.
child always knows that there's this screen glare. If it's removed, there's something wrong. Yeah? That starts creating this notion that I have to always have this bright screen glare on my face, either to calm down, either to be on my best behavior. And even as now we continue raising them up, you realize that if you tell a child, okay, go watch, whether they're fine. They will not disturb you unless they're hungry or they need to go to the toilet. And sometimes they will even mess on themselves because
They're glued on the screen.
And so you see, when they start becoming preteens, right? What do we do when we are buying new phones? We hand down our yeah.
old phone.
Yes, to our children, which means you've given them that responsibility of a gadget as early as
when they are teens.
Even preteens.
I would like you to go back to still preteens. You know, we never think about babies and small kids in that sense, that we
Yes.
need to keep them safe online.
Yes.
Even their mental well-being.
Yes.
Because, and I know most of us have done this and are doing this. Like when we want to have our kids or make our kids feed faster.
Yes, we
or
put Baby Shark.
Yes, we give them our gadgets, we give them
Yes.
the tabs,
Yes.
then they are watching and you know the mouth just opens and
Yes,
you
and
feed and everybody's happy
Yeah.
and it's calm.
Yeah.
But I know it's something we do momentarily, but the
Yeah.
long-term effects, I'm sure.
They're very grave because then what happens is that you're creating a culture that they cannot feed without technology. So what happens when you want to start withdrawing it? They start having temper tantrums.
Absolutely.
They cannot cope without it because you're the one who introduced that culture to them. And it's a way of life. It becomes their way of life. And when you start now creating what I would call a tech-free zone, it's very hard to remove this child from what they're already addicted to. You will not think it is an addiction because for them, it's their way of life. They came in and found that this is how we do certain things.
Right.
So when you start seeing a difference, maybe your children have issues seeing, they delay in speech because, you know, when they're singing those Teletubby songs, it has a way of affecting their speech. It does. You will start seeing a child, ba 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 ba. They're not really speaking. And because you're not also there to help them recorrect that speech, it becomes their way of life.
So engage them on that level.
Yeah. So by the time now you start seeing children are becoming very attached to gadgets, it's because of how you started introducing it to them from the beginning.
Right.
And then you find that even when they become teenagers, and yes, they feel like, I need to have a phone. Maybe you promised your child if they do very well in class 8 KCPE, you will give them a phone, and they actually do it because there is a reward of a gadget. Then they become now, this is my thing. And you see, the minute you tell your child, this is yours, it's theirs. You cannot have that moral authority to say, no, I need to see, I need to see, I need to see, when you did not already plant the seeds of being a digital citizen. Because ideally, what we should be doing is creating digital citizens, so that when they're online, they're safe. They know that I'm using this gadget for ABCD.
Right.
Yes.
So let's do it step by step. How can we keep our kids safe online? You can focus a bit. I know you focused on the preteens. Let's focus on the teens now. How can we keep our teens safe online?
Number one, by the time you're giving them a phone, please come and give you a contract. They need to sign contracts.
What do you mean?
They need to sign contracts of how they're going to use that phone, who is going to maintain that phone, and if you have consequences and rules that you have stipulated for how that phone should be used, if they break those rules, what is the action that should be taken? The reason is, you will always realize that children keep asking why. So you come in and you find them gaming, you withdraw the gaming, and you do not prepare them for the next steps, for instance. Or you do not tell them your screen time is 2 hours. You're actually creating a very dangerous environment for them.
Right.
That they'll feel, if I cannot be in the house doing this, I'll go to the neighbor's house. And remember, maybe your neighbor does not share your values. They do not share your discipline in terms of tech.
Right.
Maybe their internet is unfiltered. Then what happens? They go there, they connect, and they start consuming anything and everything. So by the time you want to start engaging on technology, first things first, let's have a conversation. Let's sit and say, I'm going to give you this gadget, and this is how I expect you to use it.
So these are what kind of rules can you set?
What kind of rules? For anybody below 10, 2 hours screen time.
So anybody below 10, 2 hours minimum per what? Per day, per week?
Per day.
Per day.
If you can, per day.
Right. So the
Yes.
baby sharks, 2 hours maximum per day.
Yes.
Okay.
That should be supervised screen time. For the teenagers, it can be a balance between 4 hours, but it has to be 2 hours of learning, 2 hours of entertainment. That's just period.
Okay.
If you need to entertain yourself, give me an equivalent of that hour for learning.
Right.
And this could be even just going on Pinterest, for instance, and just doing your own stuff.
Right.
Because that is learning. We are not making the children feel like you have to learn math, English, everything that they learn in school.
Right.
Let it be a learning thing, but it has to be an equivalent of what they're using for entertainment. So we need to start creating that environment, not only for the children, but for everybody. And have them have this power to question why we have this rule. And if it has to go back to your family values, let it go back to your family values.
Right.
And tell them, our house is different from Kina Christine's house. Maybe that child who is under 10 has a phone because the mother travels a lot.
Right.
And maybe they're using that for communication. It could be different from us. Maybe we are here a lot, we're with you, so you don't need a phone. Because the children will go outside and they'll still have those conversations.
Yeah.
So and that helps with even pressure, because you'll find that when you're asking me, how can our children be safe online, they will still go outside and realize your children have a phone and I have my account crammed. And I'll log in and I'll still be. And I'll give you a very interesting thing. I'll teach you something new today. There's something called Finsta.
Finsta.
So it is a fake Instagram account.
Fake Instagram account?
Yes. So you might actually have a teenager.
It's a new app.
No.
Right.
So you might have a child, your child, and you follow them on Facebook, you follow them on Instagram, but you know that real them. Then
Yes, they have a pseudo account.
So it's called a Finsta.
A Finsta.
So
learn something every day.
You have their phone. You've not taught them about the responsibility and everything. And for you, you're like, oh, my child. So you're going through their phone and checking their history and everything. And they're like, this is what they post on Instagram, nini. On the other side, they have a Finsta account that they post. I mean, they're real. They're being themselves.
So that is what their friends see.
Yeah. The ones they choose that they want to see that Finsta account. It's just that mommy and daddy are not friends on my Finsta account.
Evelyn,
yes.
This has been very deep. And thank you so much for coming through and sharing this information, which I know will be a lot of help to many parents out there. As we are ending up this show, how can parents connect with you?
Wow, I'm on all social media accounts. That's my business. It's on social media. Ivminette KE on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter.
Right.
My website is ivminette.co.ke. Yes, if there are parents who want to learn how to just manage technology at a family level,
Right.
and that is working with the whole entire ecosystem of the child, I am the person to look for.
Thank you so much.
And I'm not going to scare them, but I'll be real with them.
And I'm sure they'll learn a lot from you.
Yes.
And it will be of great help to them and their families.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
Right. And with that, we come to the end of today's show. On today's show, we had Evelyn Kasina of Ivminette, who came through to share about online safety, how we can keep our kids safe online, how we can keep our teens safe online. And as she said, it starts with you. If we model the behavior that we want our kids to mirror, then it starts with us. We've been here on location at Little Cribs, the home of durable, fun, and affordable furniture. I've been your host, Christine Kasina, and we're going to leave you with a clip that is going to show you some of the things that kids are concealing from you online. I hope you find this informative. And for parenting information, go to www.supermamas.co.ke. See you next time.